Today, Kia unveiled its production-ready EV3 all-electric compact SUV. With a starting price of around $35,000 before incentives and a range of up to 372 miles on the WLTP cycle, this could be a really important vehicle for Kia. So if you want to find out all about this new EV3, then stay tuned. Hey everybody, it's the Ioniq guy. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. My name is Corbin. I cover all things Hyundai, Kia, Genesis, EV related. So we've been talking about the EV3 for months and months now, and today's finally the day where we got to see the production version. Now, it looks just like the concept car that was revealed several months ago, so they really were just kind of showing you what was coming a little bit down the road. So if you're a fan of the EV9, if you're a fan of the EV5, which is unfortunately not coming to the United States right now, then you're going to like the design of the EV3. And this might be a perfect car for you if you don't need all that space like the EV5 or the EV9 has. So this is a compact crossover SUV. It has a wheelbase of about 2.7 meters and it's about 30 centimeters shorter than an EV6. The wheelbase here is almost identical to that of the Niro. So you can really think of this as probably being the long-term replacement for the aging Niro EV. And that's fine with me. I've never been a huge fan of the Niro's design aesthetics. I think the EV3 is definitely a much more appealing vehicle. So let's talk about the battery and the range figure that we were given. So it's going to come with two battery options, 58.3 kilowatt hours and 81.4 kilowatt hours. They're saying for the big battery, 372 miles or 600 kilometers. That is just a massive range figure. With that smaller battery pack, you can expect maybe 230, 240 miles of range. But we'll just have to wait and see what the EPA is going to rate this at, because this car is going to come to the United States. It's going to go on sale in July in Korea, and then in the second half of 2024, it will go on sale in Europe, and then 2025, it will come to the US and most likely Canada. Now, you might be wondering, what is the drivetrain here? So this is a first for the EGMP platform. It is going to be front-wheel drive. So the Ioniq 5, EV6, GV60 have all been rear-wheel drive with the option for all-wheel drive, but here it's just going to be front-wheel drive. That's going to give them more cost savings, allowing them to sell it at a lower price, and also giving you a bigger range figure. But they are working on a GT version that will have all-wheel drive. So if you want more power and a little bit more fun, you're going to have to wait for that GT version of the EV3. So that front motor is going to have 150 kilowatts or 202 horsepower, and you can expect 0 to 60 of about 7.5 seconds, which is still plenty fast for everyday use. Now, because it is only front-wheel drive, they did move the charge port to the passenger front fender. So for those of you who might be wanting to use the Tesla network in the near future, that is going to make accessing superchargers much more easily, because that location aligns with the location of the Tesla vehicles. Now, one of the biggest differences here between the rest of the EGMP platform and the EV3 is that this is not an 800-volt vehicle. This is a 400-volt vehicle, and the reason for this is cost savings. And even though you're getting a 400-volt vehicle, this is still going to charge pretty respectively. So it is going to top out at about 128 kilowatts, and you can expect it to DC fast charge from 10 to 80% in 31 minutes. So it's a bit longer than the standard EGMP vehicles. The EV9 is more of a 600-volt vehicle. It's somewhere between 400 and 800 volts. That's why it has a slightly longer charging time versus EV6. Now, if you guys have watched my videos, you know I'm a big fan of the EV9 and the EV5's design. So I do like the EV3 here. They took a lot of the same styling cues from those two vehicles. The kind of Y-shaped tail lights, the Y-shaped front lights. I think it's a really futuristic looking, masculine design. I know some people don't like it, but you got the blacked out A pillars, the blacked out C pillar there that makes the roofline look like it's floating. I'm not crazy about the wheels. I do really like the interior here. I did just spend a week with the EV9, so I did get used to that interior, and I gotta say, some of the things in there are just so nice. They have in the EV3 what looks like the same headrests as in the EV9, and they're probably the most comfortable headrests I have ever felt in any vehicle. So if they brought those to the EV3, consider me sold, because just for those headrests, I'm a big fan. You've got the same dual 12-inch screens as the EV9. You have the new CCNC software suite. You do have that little HVAC screen located between the two screens in the dashboard, which I really wasn't that big of a fan of in the EV9. Just like the EV9 and EV5 though, You kind of have the floating center console, and God, the orange accents. Oh, don't even get me started. You've got this cool pop-out kind of table under the armrest, which is a neat little feature I've never seen before. The dashboard looks like it's made out of like a fabric material. It looks like there's nice ambient lighting throughout. So there's some big updates to the infotainment system that we don't see in the EV9 currently. The first is going to be you now have access to streaming services like Netflix and YouTube built right in. That's really great, especially when you're stopped and charging. Just throw something on there really quickly, keep everybody in the car entertained. And now Kia is going all in on AI in their cars. They're gonna have an AI assistant in the car that's gonna be based on ChatGPT. So that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother video, but it's gonna be built into the car now. Something that I think is really interesting here. They are releasing a new version of iPedal, and the EV3 is gonna be the first car to implement it. So they're calling it iPedal 3. They don't go into too many details about it. I would love to talk to an engineer about it. But it sounds like it's going to allow multiple levels of regeneration in iPedal. So like me, I really like an aggressive iPedal. So I want to take my foot off the accelerator pedal and have it come to a stop really quickly. Now, some people don't want that. Some people want it to be a more gentle deceleration to a stop. My Ioniq 6 is like that. My Ioniq 5 is going to add a little bit more regeneration than the Ioniq 6, and it slows down quicker. And I do prefer iPedal in the Ioniq 5. So I think that's really cool. I hope that comes as an OTA to EV9 and EV5 and possibly the rest of the Hyundai Kia lineup at some point in the future. The EV3, just like the EV9, is going to be full over-the-air updatable. So that's a huge time saver, so you don't have to bring the vehicle into the dealer for every little update like I do with my Ioniq 5. So let's talk storage space in here, because that's one of the reasons why you get a small SUV. So the front trunk is actually a fairly decent size, 25 liters. And the cargo area is going to be 460 liters. So just for comparison, EV6 owners, your trunk is 490 liters. So it's really not that much smaller versus the Kia EV6. Even though the EV3 is fairly boxy, it actually has a pretty good coefficient of drag at just 0.263. Now again, for reference, the EV6, which is a pretty sleek looking car, has a drag coefficient of 0.28. So the EV3 has the EV6 beat by a little bit. Of course, the EV3 is going to be very safe. It's going to come with all of Hyundai and Kia's standard safety features that we all know and love. Highway Drive Assist 2 is going to be here for those long highway commutes. Kia's Digital Key 2.0 is here, so you can leave your keys behind if you want to. That really kind of does it for the Mini EV9. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section. I know when I first found out that it was 400 volts, I was a little disappointed. I figured by now, with economies of scale, with all of their other 800 volt vehicles, they'd be able to bring that price point down and really start implementing it in their cheaper vehicles, but apparently they're not there yet. So that's a little unfortunate. If this thing charged in 18 minutes, that would have been awesome to see, but 31 minutes is still better than the Nero at about 40 plus minutes. So it's just a big step up compared to that aging vehicle. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the Nero, if they will leave it on sale, if they're going to take it off the market. I'm sure they could probably use that production space for something else, but maybe they'll keep it in the lineup and just really drastically drop its price. So if by some miracle this qualifies for the $7,500 tax credit in the United States, if it does actually start at $35,000 and you can pick one up for the high 20s before state incentives, it could be a pretty popular vehicle for them. But unfortunately for us in the United States, we're gonna have to wait probably at least another 6 months. It could be any time in 2025, they didn't specify, but when that time comes, I do hope to be able to bring that to you here on the Ioniq Guy. So if you guys liked today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. Check out my store at ioniqguy.com for accessories that I make for the Ioniq 5, EV6, GV60, and the like. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.